Hey, what's up, YouTube? So it's time for a new build. You know, with all the recent drama around the FAA and registration and all that stuff, and weight requirements for registration, the micros have really grown in popularity. You see them, new stuff popping up all the time. A lot of really cool builds out there. People getting really creative with how they're putting these tiny builds together. You know, when you're really constrained like that, you have to get creative sometimes. But so of course I had to build my own. Right after it was released, I ordered a Shendrone Shrieker from Andy Shen at Shendrones, and got that and built it. And it's been a lot of fun to fly. It was a tricky build, just because there's not a lot of space there. You know, I custom printed some 3D parts and some other things just to make things fit, you know. And it was a lot of fun to build, and it's been a lot of fun to fly. But I think it's time to say goodbye to the Shrieker, and you might be wondering why. And that's because Steve over at FPV Racing Parts was kind enough to send me something new that he's working on, which I have right here. So what I have here is the Bantam Boxer 150. Now the Shrieker is a 130 frame, so this one is a hair larger. Let's open her up. So you can see there, just a tiny bit larger. So that's a 150. We're going to build it, but I think one micro is enough for me. I have a 6-inch build, a couple 5-inch builds, a 4-inch build, and then a micro. I don't really need to build a huge collection of them, so I think the plan is to scavenge parts from the old Shrieker and move them over to the Boxer. Let's take a closer look at the two frames and get started. Alright, so first let's take a look at the Shrieker. Like I said, it's a 130 frame. It's a little beat up and dirty right now because I've been flying it a bunch lately. But yeah, it's a 130 frame. I have DYS 1306, what are they, 3100 kV motors, some HQ 3-inch tri-blades, running Acro NAS 32, and I think this is actually the Lumineer PDB that's on here. I have a HS 1177M, I believe, camera from Surveil Zone, and a FX 799T 200 milliwatt transmitter, a little generic antenna, also a D4R2 receiver, and the ESCs are, I think there's some old DYS SN20s that I had sitting around. The camera was not going to, so let's see, this comes with this little bitty camera plate, which will go in there, you know, and sit in this little slot, and that one on the bottom, but I rarely ever use the camera plates. This camera was too deep to fit in there in kind of a normal setup, so I designed this part and printed it out, and it's worked pretty well. It's still really tight in there. There's a tiny gap between the camera and the flight controller, but it works. The wiring's a little messy because I started to set up a MinimOSD, but didn't end up finishing that, so whatever, the wiring's a little messy. But yeah, so that's the Shrieker. I usually would fly it with a 1300 milliamp hour LiPo, which is kind of huge for a quad this size, but the damn thing, you know, it still flies fine, and it'll fly forever. I don't even know how many minutes I'd get in flight time, but it seemed like you could just fly and fly and fly and fly. So really, probably an ideal size would be an 850 or something. You could go down to a 450, but at that point, I'm sure you start really cutting into the flight time. So an 850 seems like it's probably the best middle ground for a 130, something this size. But yeah, so that's the Shrieker. So we'll put that over here, and let's take a look at the Boxer 150. So we got a nice Bantam sticker, and check this out first. Let's see. We got main plate That's it looks like 3mm or something. Very sturdy. We have here, what do we have? Oh, this is for mounting a camera, like a HS1177 style. Top plate with got a cutout for XT60, a couple slots for straps, looks like just some weight saving holes, slots for those camera brackets. Got 8 standoffs, which is nice. I prefer frames that use 8. I feel like with frames that only use 6, you're more likely to bend them in a crash. And we have some 3D printed kind of motor guard feet things. They just slide right over like that. They're clipped on and will protect the ends of the arms. So yeah, that's it. And of course some screws. We don't care about those because I have lots of screws. And let's say goodbye to the Shrieker. Do a little tear down. I like all right, that's that. Cool. With it, since we're going up in size, it'd be super nice if I could just bolt this on there. Well, hell, maybe it will fit. Let's see. Oh wait, so before, if you look closely, I had some of the wires would go under the PDB and around behind the standoff, but I think with this, if I just don't loop them behind the standoffs, that will actually give me enough length to just mount the damn things to this frame. I thought I was going to have to resolder and cut to length some new wires for all these, but I may not have to, which would be awesome. Alright, so if we pull all these wires out from under the standoffs, like so, and screw this bad boy back down. Alright, there we go. Okay, well, I got all the motors screwed down and everything fit, so that was nice, but then I realized that I'm an idiot and I had done it backwards. These little slots right here are where the camera mounting plates go in, and as you can see, the XT60 lead is coming out of there, so it was backwards. So it needs to be like this. And well, since I had to take it all apart, well, not all apart, but undo all the motors, as I often do, I changed my mind and decided that I'm going to go ahead and rewire the whole thing, because these have gotten all dirty and look like shit, and some of the wires are too long, and I don't know if I really need all this stuff. I don't know if I'm going to fool with the minimum OSD, so let's undo it all and redo it all, because why not? All right, that's better. All right, I like to clean things up when I get a chance, so I just take a little shop towel, paper towel thing here and squirt some like degreaser cleaner on it and just give it a little rub down. Everybody likes a rub down. Looks good. We're gonna have to shorten this lead because the top plate will go on there, and then there is this little piece in here. So your XT60 will stick up through there like that. And then this will go on there. Screw that down. Put a nut on the other side. That's definitely not going anywhere. So basically I'm trying to determine whether or not I need to shorten these leads or not. The question is, how much do we need to shorten this? Now, let's work on some motors. There we go. So that looks good. Let's get some heat shrink. There we go. That looks good. Take our lighter, because I don't have a heat gun. Flip it over. There we go. Looks good. So let's go ahead and mount that to the frame. Like that. There we go. The standoff can go right in the middle. The ESC is not going to go anywhere. And so now we just need to do that 3 more times. Alright, well, I got all 4 motors and ESCs soldered up. Now I just have the signal and ground leads hanging off of each one. So next, I think I will wire up my FPV gear, just because I usually like to run that wire between the flight controller and the PDB. So we'll do that and then put the flight controller on top and wire up all the ESC leads. So I have here the lead for the camera, and then this is the lead for the VTX. This is voltage in and ground, and then coming out we have 5 volts out and ground and video line, so we just need to mate those up and connect this to the PDB. We're going to run it out the back, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to come with a plate of some sort that would go right there and maybe hold the SMA connector, but I don't have one. Nothing in there. I checked all my bags and stuff, and I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. I'll probably just 3D print something though, so it'll be a non-issue. Alright, so let's cut those. Strip all 3. Alright, got those stripped, and I need this. Strip all these. Now before I forget, like I always do, let's get some heat shrink. So we need 3 little short pieces. 1, 2, 3. Slide those on there, like so. And then I also like to, when I shrink, or when I splice wires like this and have to shrink multiple wires, I like to find a bigger piece that will go over all 3 once they're done. I think this should fit. So we'll put that on this side. Once we can shrink each individual wire and then put this piece over all 3 of them. So now we just solder the wires together, shrink them up. Now we can actually pinch it together while it's still soft, and they'll kind of stick together. Let's slide this up over all 3. There we go. We can put this right on top of where our XT60 lead connects. So let's get all these signal wires out of the way. Alright, that's secure. Great. That sounds nice. Plug you up. Make sure to throw an antenna on there. Got that. Where's our camera? Right here. This is not the camera we're going to use, but we're just going to use another HS1177, so it shouldn't be an issue. Alright. That's all plugged up. Alright, got the goggles here. Plug that up to the receiver, and then let's power this up. Alright, we can see our VTX is lit up. That's good. Power on the goggles. We should already be on the right channel. And what do we see? I have video. I don't know if any of that's visible, but probably not. Whatever. But yeah, so that's working. That's good. So I got this 150 all finished. Everything's assembled, looking good. I actually finished it the other day and took it out for maiden, but at the time I was flying with these little 3-inch tri-blades HQs, and I don't know, it really just didn't have the power that I was looking for. I mean, you know, you can't expect a whole lot out of something this size, but it felt like it was just working really hard to fly, and as a result just wasn't like a lot of fun. I mean, it still got around okay, but you know, I just wanted it to be quicker. And I had previously talked to Steve, and he recommended these GemFan, you can see them on here, these GemFan 3.5 by 4.5 props. And man, let me tell you, it's close. There's like, I don't know, 2 millimeters of clearance between the prop and the back standoff. But then on the front, actually, this I wasn't super happy about, but it actually made contact with the camera bracket here that holds the HS1177 there. I don't know if you can see it, but it actually touched that, so I had to actually trim the front two props, like, I mean, maybe a millimeter or so off the front two. But then I hovered it here in the garage after that, and it feels like I wanted it to feel with these props. So I'm looking forward to a maiden tomorrow, at least if it's not still raining. So yeah, so I took it out the other day with the 3-inch tri-blades on it. Now I'm running the 20 amp little Bs on here, and at the time I was just using this stupid thing, this little Lumineer PDB, which, you know, only has the space on it for a single Pololu regulator. So I had the 5-volt regulator on there, and that was it. So my video transmitter was running off of the full battery voltage, in which I'm running 4S LiPos on here. And, you know, it has an input range that's wide enough for that. But, you know, we all know about these little Bs and their voltage spikes. So I landed it and came down to change the battery, and then puff, there went my video transmitter. So tonight I pulled this PDB off and had another one laying around, one of the Multi-Rotor Mania PDBs that has the built-in 5-volt and adjustable regulator. So I installed that, had the 5-volt regulator powering the nays, of course, and then the adjustable regulator set to about 9 volts and is powering the video transmitter. So that should avoid any more magic smoke issues with the video transmitter. And of course, the video transmitter, it's 5-volt out is what's powering the camera, so the camera should be fine. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, looking forward to it. I weighed it earlier, and let's see. So the dry weight was 213 grams, and then with the all-up weight was 364 with a 4S 1300 LiPo on top. No recording camera or anything. But yeah, so there you go. It's good. Looking forward to the build. And I'm looking forward to the maiden tomorrow, and so I'll do that, and we'll take a look at some flight footage.